Hey everybody, this is the Slightest Review. I'm here today to talk to you about what exactly is the deal with Guinan and Q from Star Trek Next Generation. What exactly were the dealings that they had that has never been explained and is one of the biggest plot holes from TNG. With Star Trek Picard Season 2 coming very soon, I hope to God they finally explain that, because both stars that play Guinan and Q are going to be returning to the series after all these years. We know that, and I hope that they make Q the same way he was in TNG, not the buffoon that they made him into be in DS9 and in Star Trek Voyager. It was really embarrassing just to see him like that. Now, we last saw him in that cartoon animated series that Star Trek has called Lower Decks. I didn't watch that. I refused to watch that after the first episode. So I don't know how exactly he acted in that. Now, of course, the last time we saw Guinan was in the movie Star Trek Nemesis, where she just had like a cameo and that's it. Now, when it comes to these two, like I said before, it's never been explained. See, Guinan showed up in Star Trek Next Generation Season 2. Q showed up in the very first episode of TNG, the first season. Now, Q is part of the Q Continuum. They're like an immortal race of aliens with unlimited power, and they're pretty much immortal. Guinan's a little different. Guinan is from the Delta Quadrant, and she's Mylian. Now, she has longevity. We don't know exactly how old she is, because it's never been explained, but we do know that at some point in time, the Borg destroyed her homeworld. Her people migrated. They tried to get as far as they could from the Delta Quadrant and went all the way to the Alpha Quadrant. Some of the members did. And a lot of them, well, as we know from Voyager, it takes about 78 years at maximum warp, full time, just to get from the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant. So, and that's without breaks and stuff, like stoppage. So, at some point, we know that she met the crew of the Enterprise B, and when Kirk was on there and he died. And we know in the TNG episode Broken Arrow, she was back in the 19th century Earth meeting Tom Sawyer himself. So I think his name was Samuel Clemens, his real name or something like that. But yeah, so she's been around for an extremely long time, which means the Borg have been around for a lot longer than that. And in that episode, that's when she first met a time-traveling Picard. And she didn't know who he was because she had never met him, but he knew of her because he came from his time. And so, like, she literally said, tell my father I'm not ready to return. So it's never been stated if her family was killed by the Borg or assimilated. But, we know her home planet was. So, yeah, it's just like she's been around for a long, long time. And one of the biggest mysteries is what happened between Q and Guinan, because these two hate each other. When he saw that she was on the ship, he literally put his hands up, ready to snap his fingers and kill her. And he even tells Picard, just give me the word and I'll do it. The next thing you know, she puts her hands up in a weird like pose and is getting ready to deflect whatever he's about to do. So it's kind of like that she has some type of magical powers or some kind of way to block Q powers. We don't know because that's never been explained. And then, she literally just tell Picard they have some dealings. What happened between them two? Were they good deals, bad deals? Did he betray her? Because the thing about Q is that he's a trickster. She's met other people in the Q Continuum, and she's literally said that some of them are like really good and stuff. But this Q is not. He's just too much of a troublemaker. See, when we first met Q in the first episode of the first season, he put the Enterprise on trial for crimes against humanity. Pretty much just saying that, humanity has lost its way. All they do is just around killing each other. They rely too much on technology, stuff like that. And so he put the Enterprise to some kind of like test type thing or some type of situation. I think with the crystalline entity, I believe it was. It's been like a long time since I saw that. But anyway, Picard like passed and stuff like that. But the trial was never ever over because he came back in the series finale and put Picard on trial again because somehow Picard ended up destroying all of life by mistake in ways of time travel. Now the thing about Q is that in the first season he was kind of villainous, like he was kind of like an antagonist. Towards the second season, he started to lighten up. Like he took a fondness for Picard, and because of that, he loves messing with him, teasing him, aggravating him, everything you can think of, right? But he goes out his way to help and protect Picard and even the entire Alpha Quadrant. But even though he's doing it, he's still messing with Picard and stuff. So it's like he first introduces Picard and humans to the Borg, which, as we all know, is one of the most powerful species there is. And because he has unlimited power and he can see into the future, he probably saw the destruction of Earth when the Borg finally did show up. Now, we kind of got a glimpse of that in the 7th season episode named Parallels. In that episode, Picard was never rescued from the Borg, and with his help, the Borg was able to assimilate all of the Alpha Quadrant, and only a scatter of Alpha Quadrant species was still alive, but they were badly wounded. Now, that's kind of like a good glimpse of what could have happened if, the Enterprise never met them. So he flung the Enterprise either all the way to the Delta Quadrant or somewhere near the edge of like the Alpha Quadrant that intersects the Delta Quadrant, and that's when they first met the Borg. And it was to the point where Picard tried everything he could and could not defeat them. And he was literally about to destroy the ship. And at the last second, he just surrendered to like Q and said, you know what? You was right. I was wrong. We're not ready. And, I need your help. And that's all Q wanted. Q wanted to teach him a lesson that you can't think you can do everything alone, especially in situations where you are not familiar with, because space is vast and you don't know what's out there. And so he had to teach Picard a valuable lesson, because Picard is a very stern, stubborn man, And then in the episode Tapestry, we already knew from earlier seasons that Picard has an artificial heart. He lost it back when he was a cadet in Starfleet, and he had a friend that pissed off a Narsicaan, and Picard got stabbed through the chest. And as a result of that, he lost his heart. So one day in the future, when Picard's a captain, he gets hit by an energy discharge that fries his heart. And he is literally dying on the Enterprise. And next thing you know, as he's drifting away into the afterlife, he meets Q. And Q tells him, he asks him, how'd you lose your heart? And Picard tells him, he's like, how would you like to go back in time and change that? And Q tells him plain and simple as this: whatever you do in the past will not affect the future. It will only affect your course of events. So Picard goes back in time. He prevents himself from getting stabbed. And then when he's in the future, he wakes up to see that he is no longer captain of the Enterprise. He is now a lieutenant, junior ranking lieutenant, junior grade, which is basically just an ensign who they give pity to and give like an extra pep to. And so he's in the science division. And Picard just like, what did you do? You lied to me. Like, you said you weren't going to change nothing. He's like, I haven't changed nothing. You changed it. See, when he prevented himself from getting stabbed, he lost the ability to kind of take risks, take chances, not be a coward. And that's something you need when becoming a captain. You have to make them risky decisions in life. You have to risk death and the death of your crew, in order to save the bigger picture type thing, And so as he's there, at first he's just trying to adjust to his life, but he saw he couldn't. He just couldn't let go of the man he used to be. And, he's this old 50-something-year-old man who's a lieutenant, and, and he see people that he used to work under him, now talk down to him and stuff, and he just couldn't take it. So he tells Q, just take it all back, He'd rather have an artificial heart then lose the integrity and the man he used to be. So Q, sends him back. He gets stabbed and this and that. So it's kind of like Q is always like looking out for Picard and humanity. So, but still, it's like him and Guinan hate each other. When he turned human, she literally stabbed him with a fork to see if it was real. And it's just like the biggest question so many Star Trek fans have is like, what happened between these two? And I'm hoping to God they finally explain that, you know? But Whoopi Goldberg only has, I think, a recurring role. So we don't know how much in depth her character will have. We don't know what her character is going to do or what the plot of this season is going to be about. But hopefully it's a whole lot better than the first season of Picard, because I didn't like that. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.